Hello guys, explain the Taylor series formula. So we all know that Taylor series formula represents a way to express a function as an infinite sum of terms, allowing us to approximate the value of the function at any point. So without further ado, let's explain this. Let's first explain this n is equal to 0. So n is equal to 0, this indicates that we are taking the sum over the range of values for n starting from 0 and continuing indefinitely. Next, 1 over n factorial. 1 over n factorial, this term represents as reciprocal of factorial n, denoted as 1 over n factorial. The factorial of a number n is the product of all positive integers from 1 to n. Next, d to the power of n times f and f times z0. So this represents the nth derivative of the function f(x) evaluated as at a specific point z over 0. The notation d to the power of n refers to taking the nth derivative, and the f times z0 represents the value of the function at z0. Next, d times z to the power of n. This term represents the derivative of the z with respect to x raised to the power of n. The notation d times z to the power of n denotes the nth derivative of z with respect to x. Next, z minus z0 over to the power of n. This term represents the difference between the variables of z and the center point z to z0 raised to the power of n. It captures the deviation of z from z0. So next, when do we say that the function doesn't have an existing Maclaurin series? First, malalaman natin kapag ang Maclaurin series ay ang Taylor series kung ang function ay walang existing na Maclaurin series kapag ang function is non-analytic function. A function must be analytic to have a Maclaurin series. Next, analyticity means that a function can be expressed as power series. Next, a function next is discontinuities. Discontinuities is if a function have a discontinuity at x is equal to 0, it does not have a Maclaurin series. The series requires the function to be continuous and without sudden jumps or breaks. Next, essential singularities. Functions with essential singularities at x is equal to 0 do not possess a Maclaurin series. Essential singularities are points where the function behaves highly irregular and non-repetitive manner, making it impossible to represent a function as power series. That's all for IL07.